Hi everyone, Professor Hosmer here. I wanted to provide a quick video for you to kind of walk through how you're going to actually get information from the header of the file. Obviously the header of the file is going to be varied depending upon the file, but I think I specify 20 bytes. That'll just pull the initial bytes out of the file so we can take a look at those. So with that, I want to kind of give you a couple ways to go about doing this, but the simplest way is to use another library that's part of the Python standard library called binASCII. And so I'm going to use the integrated development environment. I'm using the Python shell. You'll be able to integrate this into your own script. So I'm not going to give you the solution to the challenge problem or the assignment, but rather kind of show you how you actually go about this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say from binASCII import HexlifyFileHeader, which is one of the functions or methods that are part of the binASCII library. I don't need the whole binASCII library. I only need the HexlifyFileHeader function that's going to allow me to do what I need to do. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open a file. I just have a file here that I want to actually open in order to be able to do this. I'll show you the whole little script here. So I'm going to say with open zzz.jpg, and what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to, really important step here is to make sure that we're opening this file as read binary. Since this is going to be a binary file, not a text file, we need to open it as a binary file. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and read the header. I just gave it a variable named header. You could call it whatever you wanted. And I'm going to read in the first 20 bytes of that file. Then I'm going to use the HexlifyFileHeader method that's part of the binASCII library to create a new variable called hexstring. Again, you could have called that anything you want, but I decided to call it hexstring, just so I remembered what it was. And then I'm going to go ahead and print out the result of that hex string. So what we're doing is opening the file, and we're giving it a variable name called binFile, which is going to be the object for the file. We're going to use the file object in order to read the first 20 bytes of the file into a variable called header. Then I'm going to convert that header, it's going to be a blob of data, and I'm going to convert it into a hex string. You notice if I put my cursor over that, I can actually see what it is. I'm going to convert it to a hex string, and then I'm going to print it out. So if I hit enter, I get exactly what I'm expecting. This happens to be a JPEG file, so it starts with FFD8, and then it has a bunch of hex values that are associated with it. So those are the hex values that were the first 20 bytes of that file zzz.jpg to look at. So when you're working through your script, you're going to use something like this. There's other ways to do it, but this is the simplest way to basically extract and convert the first 20 bytes of that file or the header into something that's hex readable for you. So hopefully that'll help you with that little aspect of the project, and look forward to even more good questions. Thanks. Bye.